Zebra Technology, we're the official player and ball tracking provider for the NFL. But this is now our 10th season doing it for the NFL.
You want Philly food?
Yeah, let's do it.
That partnership with the NFL is what creates all the next-gen stats that you see. So we're the technology and hardware provider for that. We do the exact same technology for all of these players here for the Senior Bowl. So this is our 6th year tracking officially, and then the 7th year being a sponsor. So we have data going back to 2018 is when we first started, and continuing all the way up to here till now. It's a great opportunity for the kids here at the Senior Bowl as they're getting ready for the NFL. You're able to, like you said, there's a big focus on analytics now between the pro clubs, and being able to have that component of the same technology that they use for the professional players, to have it with the college players, especially for this week and for the other games as well. Just being able to do the comparisons between the pros and the professionals in a setting like this is awesome. I always like coming down to Mobile for this. The Senior Bowl is a great thing to come to, and to being able to watch the players and see our data and see everything come to life from the college perspective and then also our game perspective is awesome. So always excited here to do that with the players and with the Senior Bowl. It's a great partnership we have with them.
Yeah, do you want to touch on, like, I guess the mechanics of the system? So the tags, where they're at, how they interact with the receivers around the stadium. I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, let me grab some tags actually. These are what our tags look like. So they go in the shoulder pad of each of the players. So typically they wear two. So one will go right under the right shoulder pad, and one will go under the left. So as you can see, they're extremely small, not very heavy. And when you put that in a player's shoulder pads, they're obviously wearing that, their helmet, so they're not able, it doesn't affect them, doesn't affect their mindset of what they're wearing. So that is what each of the players wear. And we have our technology that's set up, it's infrastructure inside the stadium. So we have sensors around the entire bowl, and that will be the same case for all of the other stadiums as well. It'll be at every single stadium. It's based off that infrastructure that is there. So without that infrastructure and without the player wearing the tags, you're not going to be tracked. So as soon as a player leaves the field, they're not being tracked. Right? And it's always one of the things, are you going to track me when I leave the field? It's only on the field where our technology works. To your question on different metrics. So there's lots of different things that the Next Gen Stats team creates. You could do things such as separation, completion probability, probabilities of different things happening, how fast guys run. You can start doing that on different routes. You can start identifying different coverages based on all the data and data points you're collecting. So there's really just a number of different metrics that you could create, and that the NFL and Next Gen Stats are working on creating to kind of power it through the media, and then also as a scouting perspective as well, trying to have all those different bases covered.
That was going to be actually kind of my question. How connected is it to NFL? Obviously, as a fan, I see how it's used for fans. We see the numbers, but how involved is it with the NFL teams, or how involved are the NFL teams with it?
Yeah, so it obviously varies from organization to organization on what they focus on, but it is very much a big part of all the teams now. So the game data is public to all the teams. It's available the next day at 6 a.m. Eastern time. It's available to all of the teams. So, and you can see the other teams' data as well. So some teams, use it for scouting. Some teams use it for player health and safety, of trying to, figure out workloads and keeping players on the field from that perspective as well. So it's really starting to get into a lot of different departments, from scouting to coaching to health, player health and performance. So lots of different departments now are taking in that data and trying to use it as any way possible. So like I said, it fluctuates from organization to organization on who emphasizes what and how much, but it's definitely a big part of the team's plan and structure.
Is that something you track, or is it just something they have available to them if they, or is it like they have to reach out to you to get that?
Yeah, so we deliver the data to the NFL, and then the teams could pull that data from the NFL from after the games are over. So some teams are really involved, and and they will reach out and asking, you know, if something were to happen and there was a delay in data, when are we getting the data? Because we need to use it to make decisions before we start the practice week next week, or whatever the case is. So they are becoming dependent on it and expecting it at a certain time, and if it's not there, then they're asking me that. It's funny, I ran into a scout that I had known at one of the hotels here, and I was telling him about, you know, some of the things that you could get from the tracking data, and I mentioned how just because a guy runs, say, 21 miles per hour, it also is important to know, you know, how fast did he run in the first 10 yards or the next 10 yards after that. Where comparing to a 40, it might not be good to know a guy runs a 4.3, you know, how quickly did he get up to that top speed? Did it take him longer to get there, or did he get there quicker? And he used that from his scouting perspective. He'll be in meetings and say, does the guy have 400 meter speed, or does he have 100 meter speed? As in, can he get to that speed really quickly and be able to, you know, dust guys in the 100 meters, or is he a 400 meter guy where he's fast, but it takes him a little bit longer to get going? So with our data, you could kind of dive into that a little bit more and break that down, you know, speed wise, up to a certain data point or at a certain data point, whatever someone might be interested in, and that's kind of where I always like going, as well as blending the scouting perspective with the analytical perspective as well, because you definitely still want to rely on your scouts and the people watching the game. That's very important to the success of the organization, but then also balancing that usage of data and what you could do with it, and hopefully blend those two approaches into trying to come to an informed decision, which is what you want to do.
Is this something you think maybe gets implemented into stuff like Madden? Because I mean, that sounds like kind of utilizing it for their ratings, utilizing it for realism. I
think there was at one point, I don't remember if it was discussions or if there actually was, but there was talk of using some of the next gen stat stuff like speeds for helping to create like speed, like the speed rating for a player. So I think I've heard that discussed, but I'm not positive on if it's used. But I think that is definitely a use case.
Awesome. And my last big question is just kind of the backtrack, but how was this all born? How was, you know, what made you guys decide, let's, you know, do this analytics side of the NFL, try to get the speed? How did this become a thing?
Yeah, so when it started out, the NFL was looking for a tracking provider, and Zebra, you know, we were very much in the space of tracking in other different sectors, healthcare, retail. We're not just doing football, we're doing other sectors within the business industry as well. So we ended up applying this similar technology and thought of being able to do that with the NFL and with football. So when we won that, you know, 10 years ago is when we started in football and in sports. And ever since then, we've been kind of growing, coming to the Senior Bowl, doing other different events. So we've really just grown over the years, but it's been the same technology that we've always been involved in Zebra, and applying it to the NFL and to sports is where it started, you know, 10 years ago.
That's awesome.
And even just to add on to that, the NFL partnership has evolved quite a bit, because it started with player tracking, and then a couple years in, there's a tag in the ball now.
Yep.
So that obviously allows you to have a lot more data capture when you're tracking the ball, oriented with where the players are at on the field too. You're pulling out a ball tag.
Yeah, so it looks very similar to a player tag, but that will be embedded in the football. So when Wilson's making footballs at the factory, they will embed that inside the football.
They just wear one of these? How many of these do they wear?
They wear two. So normally this isn't, this plastic part isn't part of it. I actually forgot the other tags up there that we actually use. So there's a peel off, and you basically stick it right underneath, and it sticks underneath. So they wear one in each shoulder.
Okay.
And as you can see, that's the same tag. It's just built a little bit differently because it's inside the football.
It's amazing the technology we have today.
That's small little thing.
Yeah.
I think that transitions into a good discussion of the difference between RFID and GPS, because you guys might think this is GPS. It's
this
not.
is better than GPS.
It's more accurate. Yeah. So maybe Dom, you can speak to that.
Yeah. So GPS, the accuracy of GPS is roughly within 39 inches, and ours is within sub 6 inches in terms of the accuracy. So yeah, we could granularity of the data, you could, using our data, you could get to the the right data points that you want.
To deeper core values than you would with GPS.
Exactly, yeah. And
Plus,
then
plus there's other advantages.
exactly,
right?
that's what I was just going. Yeah. So with these don't need to be charged. So you could leave what we do is we put these in on Monday, and then they stay in the pads for the whole week. We don't need to take them out for the data to upload. They just stay there. We turn them on and off before the practices, and then the data will upload whenever the practice is over. So there's very, very low hands-on usage. They could if they go in jerseys, if they're worn in jerseys, which sometimes the players do for practices and things like that, you could throw the practice or the jerseys in the wash in the dryer, and there's no issue with those. With GPS units, you have to take them on and off. You have to put them on a dock, charge them. You can't go in a washer or dryer. So there's a lot of operational advantages to using RFID and using our system. Less work for the equipment managers. Players don't know that they're wearing it. Very, very low touch, and it saves, from we've heard, upwards of 20 hours per week operational usage between having to take off GPS units versus using our technology. So there's operational efficiency as well.
That's awesome. Is this going to be something that is more starting to get geared? Because I see that you guys are tracking it and kind of giving the information out as far as the what they're doing in the practices. Is it going to become more of a fan thing, like that they can maybe download the app, see the speeds?
So yeah, I think we've really tried over the past couple of years to give more data to the fans and to the media, because it's just a huge talking point, especially with scouting. It's very easy. It's easy to talk about speed and distance and all that stuff. So I think we would like to get more of the data out there, and getting more of the data out there live and into the fans' hands, I think, is definitely something we'd be interested, at the very low level at least, with speeds and being able to look at some of the stuff that they might normally not see. So I think that's a benefit for everyone, just to know, even for these practices, we have up there, how many yards a guy ran in practice. Like, even that, I think, is pretty interesting for fans to know. Like, this is a guy, how much a guy actually ran, or the total distance they covered in a practice, I think is pretty cool to see.
It's exciting. I love it. Even because I know, even playing Madden, you do see them put up like little fake next gen stats and stuff like that for the game. It is a very easily accessible. Like, you don't have to be somebody that sits there and studies film for hours upon hours to understand what you're saying. So I think that's awesome. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. No, it's been great to be involved with the Senior Bowl. Like I said, we've been doing this. This is our 6th year tracking it now. I've been here since the first year that we did it, and it's come a long way. We have our public website now, so if you look at that QR code, you should be able to see the website of all the data for the past years and for this year. You should be able to see all that data. So we've come a long way to where we are now with showing that data to fans. Before, it was just up in the hallway. When it was at the Riverview, we used to have like slides just roll by, and now we're able to do that here at the stadium. And with social media and getting some of the stuff out that way through the Reese's Senior Bowl social media, and then the Zebra Sports social media as well, we try to get more things out there. Once, it's great for the players, the fans love to interact with it, so it's really good for everyone involved. So it's been great, and we've had great weather this week as well. It's been awesome. It seems like every year we always have one day that we have to move to the indoor. So
that's what I heard.
So
it's always raining out here.
Yeah,
so I'm glad I haven't caught it yet.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's been beautiful this week.
That's awesome. What's the next step for Zebra? What's like, you guys went from the NFL, you guys are now deep into the Senior Bowl. Is there any other sports you guys are looking at, or any other leagues you're like? I know the XFL or USFL, whatever it's called now.
Yeah, I think we want to continue, obviously, having the great partnership with the NFL. They're great to work with. Same thing for the Senior Bowl. I think we've had a good path with football and the things that we've been able to deliver. So I think we would like to stay in football and then keep our options open for other opportunities as well. But having the same technology and the different, like I said, from the Senior Bowl to the NFL, and being able to have the same data set across the different football events, I think is very cool, because you could do, you're comparing apples to apples instead of apples to oranges. So I think we would like to do more things in football, but we'll kind of just see where it goes. But definitely happy with the Reese's Senior Bowl and working with them and the NFL as well. So we're in other industries as well. Actually, you'll even see with the woman that, I don't know if she scanned your credential, but she scanned Christian's mind. So that actually uses a Zebra device to scan it. So we're here with credentialing and barcodes. If you ever rent a car and get a receipt, it'll be off a Zebra printer. So barcodes and that part of retail we're involved in as well.
That's right.
So we're in lots of different areas.
Awesome. I'll be in touch. I'll definitely be in touch.
Yeah, the obviously check out the website, and then if you've never looked at, there's a Next Gen Stats public website which has the NFL game data, and so you can look at the top 20 speeds by week, by year. You can look at other different stats that necessarily we don't have from the practice data, but you could definitely glean a lot of stuff that comes from the same tracking technology data, which is what staffs and teams try to do the same for these sorts of events.
Awesome. I'll definitely be in contact. It was great to meet you.
Yeah, you guys too.
I
Thanks for
appreciate
stopping
the
by.
time so much.
Yeah, no problem at all.
You guys are doing a great thing, so keep it going, man.
Eagles fans everywhere. This is for you.
Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man soft. Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do 'em in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.